As the sun rose, Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, gathering disciples for another lesson on the nature of suffering. You are born into a world where suffering is inherent, he began, his voice calm yet rich with resonance. Suffering is not an aberration of life, but a natural result of our attachments and aversions, he explained. The disciples sat in silent contemplation, their eyes fixed on their master, eager to absorb the wisdom he shared. Buddha reached down and gently picked a small pebble, holding it up for all to see in the light. This pebble represents your suffering, he said, letting its presence speak to its weight in his hand. He tossed the pebble into a nearby river. Observe its descent, how it sinks under its own weight, he continued. Our attachments are like that pebble. They drag us into the currents of despair. Yet their weight is removable, Buddha said. Ananda, his devoted disciple, asked softly, Master, how can we release these weights we carry within our hearts? Buddha turned to Ananda with a serene smile. By seeing them for what they are, illusions we clutch tightly. He gestured toward the rippling water. Just as the river continues after receiving the pebble, so does life with suffering, he said. But the river doesn't stop flowing. It adapts, absorbs, and continues. So must we transcend our attachments, Buddha instructed. The gentle rustle of leaves accompanied Buddha's voice as he continued guiding the group on their spiritual journey. The first noble truth is the presence of dukkha. Suffering permeates life. But do not despair at this revelation, he said. To see the truth of suffering is not to wallow in it but to acknowledge the nature of existence. He explained. Buddha raised his hand and pointed toward the distant hills. Life is transient, ever moving, like clouds shifting above the peaks. A disciple, hesitant but brave, spoke up. Does this mean we should renounce all joys of life, Master? He asked. Not so, Buddha replied firmly. To recognize suffering is not to dismiss joy, but to understand their interconnectedness. The blooming flower is no less beautiful because it will wither. Its impermanence enriches its essence, Buddha clarified. He placed his hand on the earth. Even the ground beneath this changes, crumbles, reforms. All is impermanent, interconnected, he stated. The second noble truth teaches us of the cause of suffering. Tanha, craving that binds us to impermanence, Buddha continued. When you crave permanence in a fleeting world, you invite suffering as your guest, he told the assembly solemnly. Another disciple, Yasa, asked, Is it wrong then to desire peace, Master? To wish for calm amidst the chaos? Buddha's gaze softened. Desiring peace is natural, Yasa, but learn to seek it within rather than grasp externally. Craving breeds attachment. Peace is found in acceptance. This path releases the pebble from the hand, he explained. Buddha instructed them to close their eyes. Breathe in awareness. Sense the breath, it does not cling, nor does it flee. The disciples obeyed, and a profound silence enveloped the grove, broken only by the rustle of wind in the branches. Feel how the breath sustains you. Yet it is impermanent. This practice trains the mind to reside in balance, Buddha said. The third noble truth reveals that cessation of suffering is attainable through nirodha, the release from craving, he taught. This release is not an escape from the world but an embrace of life as it truly is, Buddha explained. The disciples nodded, their minds illuminated by the clarity of the Buddha's insights, a sense of hope blossoming within them. Finally, the fourth noble truth reveals the path to cessation, the Noble Eightfold Path. A guide to your liberation, Buddha said. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, he enumerated. Each step fosters harmony, balance, and wisdom, leading toward an existence free from the weight of attachments, Buddha assured them. As the day grew longer. The disciples practiced walking meditation, integrating the lesson into the rhythm of their movements. Buddha observed them with quiet satisfaction. Each step, a breath. Each breath, a chance to break free, he murmured to himself. At twilight, a disciple brought flowers to the Buddha, offering them as a token of gratitude for the day's teachings. Buddha accepted the flowers, holding them gently. These bloom for now but will fade. Even in their passing lies beauty, he said. Suffering, like the petals, falls away when you grasp the truth. Wisdom is your soil, compassion, your sun, Buddha concluded. The disciples bowed deeply to Buddha, their hearts filled with reverence and a growing clarity about the nature of suffering. Under the vast canopy of stars, they meditated, their minds seeking to embody the profound lessons imparted by the Enlightened One. Another day, Buddha guided his disciples into the heart of a village, where life thrived amidst joy and sorrow intertwined. The villagers greeted Buddha and his disciples warmly, presenting offerings of fruits and flowers as tokens of respect and devotion. As they walked, Buddha noticed a woman weeping by the edge of a market stall, cradling an urn close to her heart. Approaching her gently, Buddha asked, "What burdens you, dear one? What sorrow causes your tears to flow so profoundly?" The woman looked up, her face etched with grief. "O Enlightened One, I grieve for my child who left this world." Buddha's gaze was tender yet steady, his voice imbued with compassion. "Loss is a heavy burden. It shapes our existence. I seek your guidance, Master. How can I find peace amidst this storm of sorrow that consumes my every moment?" she pleaded. Buddha said softly, "Suffering cannot be erased, but understanding it can ease its grip upon your heart and soul." He handed her a small bowl and spoke gently, "Bring me a grain of rice from a house untouched by grief." The woman walked through the village, asking each family if their lives had remained untouched by pain or loss. At each door, she heard stories of lost loved ones, shattered dreams, and sorrows that were endured silently, yet profoundly felt. By nightfall, she returned to Buddha, her steps slow yet her expression transformed, carrying the bowl empty but her heart fuller. "I found no house free of grief, Master. Pain resides in every home, woven deeply into the fabric of life," she confessed. Buddha nodded, his eyes shining with wisdom. Suffering is universal, yet its acknowledgement opens doors to compassion and connection. Let every choice reflect the principles of truth, simplicity, and presence. Yashodhara stepped forward and bowed. Through this awareness, we cultivate compassion, which heals both the giver and the receiver, Buddha said, his words filled with grace. A young disciple, observing the exchange, asked, "Master, is compassion alone enough to bring peace to a suffering soul?" Buddha replied, "Compassion is a flame that illuminates the darkest corners, showing us paths to peace and connection. In sharing joy and sorrow, we forge bonds that sustain us through life's trials and enrich our journey together," Buddha explained. He gestured toward the villagers bustling around them. Each face tells a story. In their eyes, compassion is reflected, he stated. The disciples marveled at the simplicity yet profound depth of Buddha's teaching, their hearts swelling with purpose and understanding. Buddha invited the grieving woman to walk with him, as he continued teaching his disciples amidst the vibrant village life. He pointed to a child playing in the street. "Observe his joy. It blossoms when shared, and grows through connection. Compassion is a gift that requires no wealth, only the willingness to care for another," Buddha explained, his voice resonating. A merchant approached Buddha, saying, "Master, I give generously, but my heart feels empty despite my acts of charity." Buddha replied, "Generosity without compassion is hollow. Let your gifts carry the intention to lighten burdens and bring genuine warmth, true compassion." lies not in grand gestures, but in small, sincere acts that touch hearts and minds deeply, Buddha said. The merchant bowed, pondering Buddha's advice, and vowed to cultivate kindness alongside his offerings to those in need. The disciples watched as the village became a tapestry of kindness, each person inspired by the teachings of Buddha. Buddha turned to his disciples and said, "Your role is not merely to learn, but to share, embody, and spread compassion. Compassion flourishes when given freely, transforming lives and reminding us of our interconnectedness," Buddha continued, his tone imbued with conviction. Another disciple asked, "Master, how can we sustain compassion in the face of a world often indifferent or cruel?" Buddha replied, "Compassion arises from strength within. Its source is boundless when nurtured through mindfulness and wisdom. Mindfulness grounds us, teaching us to observe suffering without being overwhelmed, allowing compassion to flow naturally," Buddha instructed. The disciples practiced mindfulness amidst the bustling village, their senses open to the world's joys and sorrows. Embracing Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's words echoed as twilight fell. Compassion is the bridge that connects us, the force that unites humanity despite its struggles. The villagers gathered as Buddha prepared to leave, their hearts uplifted by the teachings shared throughout the day. Buddha blessed them, his hand raised in a gesture of goodwill. "May compassion be your guide, lighting your path forward." As the stars emerged in the night sky, Buddha and his disciples departed, carrying the village's lessons within their hearts. The grieving woman whispered a prayer, her grief lessened by understanding and compassion's embrace, her soul stirred by Buddha's presence. Buddha's teachings lingered, planting seeds of kindness and connection, inspiring the village to embody compassion in their daily lives. The disciples reflected as they walked beside Buddha, their steps guided by the profound lessons on compassion imparted to them. Beneath the vast canopy of stars, their hearts glowed, illuminated by the wisdom shared and the love embraced during the day. Another day, Buddha and his disciples gathered atop a serene hill, overlooking a valley bathed in the golden hues of twilight. The gentle rustling of leaves accompanied Buddha's voice as he spoke, weaving lessons about mindfulness and flourishing through the moment. "Friends, the mind, when untamed, wanders to distant regrets or fears, robbing us of the peace within the present," he began. A disciple, Sariputta, asked, "Master, how can we harness our minds when they constantly stray toward memories and uncertainties?" Buddha smiled, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Through mindfulness, Sariputta, the art of observing each moment as it unfolds, without judgment." He gestured toward the valley below. "See how the grass bends gracefully under the wind, yet remains rooted firmly within the earth. Mindfulness, like the grass, requires grounding. It teaches us to sway with life's currents without losing our inner balance," Buddha explained. He instructed the disciples to sit and focus on their breath, observing its rhythm and letting their minds settle in awareness. Feel the breath flowing freely, neither clinging nor fleeing. This simple act of observation cultivates presence and tranquility, Buddha said. The disciples closed their eyes, their minds attuned to the guidance of their enlightened master as the sun dipped lower. Buddha continued, "The mind is fertile ground, and mindfulness plants seeds of clarity and joy, nourishing the spirit through each moment." A young disciple asked, "Master, can mindfulness alone lead us to lasting happiness amidst life's impermanence and suffering?" Buddha replied, "Mindfulness is but a tool, one of many. It harmonizes with wisdom, compassion, and acceptance to create flourishing." Positive psychology speaks of flow, the state where immersion in the present cultivates creativity and fulfillment, Buddha added. This flow mirrors the mindfulness I teach, showing us that joy arises naturally when we cease struggling against life's currents. He explained. Buddha picked a blade of grass and held it between his fingers. Even this holds lessons if observed mindfully, he said. Through mindfulness, we experience life in its full richness, savoring each moment as a fleeting yet precious gift, Buddha shared. As the disciples meditated, Buddha's words echoed, guiding them deeper into the practice of mindful awareness and harmonious existence. A merchant from the village approached the hill, seeking Buddha's wisdom. Master, my wealth brings me no peace. What should I do? Buddha said gently, true wealth lies within the mind, cultivated by mindfulness and wisdom, not in possessions that fade with time. Share your abundance with those in need, and observe how compassion harmonizes your spirit with the flow of existence, Buddha advised. The merchant bowed deeply and pledged to live mindfully, embracing compassion alongside his worldly pursuits to find lasting peace. Another disciple asked, Master, how can we sustain mindfulness when faced with distractions and chaos of the world? Buddha replied, mindfulness is a practice, not a destination. It thrives through perseverance and patience amidst challenges and distractions. When chaos arises, return to the breath, grounding yourself in awareness. This simple act reawakens clarity and focus, Buddha explained. The mind, like water, settles when left undisturbed. With mindfulness, calm surfaces naturally, bringing insight and flourishing, Buddha continued. The disciples nodded, absorbing the profound wisdom imparted by Buddha, their hearts inspired to strengthen their mindfulness practice. A bird flew overhead, its flight graceful and free. Buddha pointed to it and said, observe its movements. Rooted in instinct, life flows naturally when the mind ceases to resist. Mindfulness teaches us to align with this flow, releasing suffering, Buddha said. Buddha invited the disciples to rise and walk mindfully, each step deliberate and connected to the earth beneath their feet. Walking is not merely moving forward, it is an opportunity to embody mindfulness, grounding the spirit with each measured step, Buddha taught. As twilight deepened, the disciples reflected on the interconnected lessons of mindfulness, compassion, and joy shared by their revered teacher. Buddha's presence radiated a serene wisdom, guiding his followers toward a life rich in flourishing and harmonious existence. The stars emerged in the night sky, their gentle glow mirroring the calm and clarity cultivated through the teachings of Buddha. Buddha's final words lingered. Flourishing does not come from external achievements but from inner harmony and mindful presence. Within the unfolding moment, the disciples bowed deeply, their hearts brimming with gratitude and renewed resolve to embody the profound lessons learned. Atop the hill, as the night enveloped the valley, Buddha's teachings resonated, planting seeds of mindfulness and joy within all who had listened. The enlightened one gazed upward, his spirit attuned to the vast interconnectedness of existence, and walked slowly down the hill. The forest returned to its tranquil rhythm, life continuing unbroken, guided by the truth imparted beneath the Bodhi tree. Ananda smiled, his heart lighter, knowing that the wisdom of the Buddha would guide him through all challenges yet to come. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.